Hey guys, I am back for another edition of Stuck in My Head, but this is going to be the top 10 songs and the top 10 albums of the decade, in my opinion. And we're going to kick it right off. No honorable mentions, just straight into the lists. Top 10 songs of the decade. Number 10, we have by Linkin Park the song A Line in the Sand, straight off of the album The Hunting Party, which came out in 2014. And it's funny because Linkin Park was kind of going in like the poppier direction at that time period, and then they just kind of shocked everybody with putting out like a straight up like hard rock, almost metal record at this point. And this song is probably the heaviest song on the record, and it is one of my favorite songs they put out in a long time. And it's just so brutal and pounding and aggressive. I love it. Everything to like about this song, it's just like exactly what they do best. And turned up to 11. They really did something familiar but different with this record, and this song is like the epitome of that record in my opinion. So just cool stuff. If you haven't heard it, definitely check it out because it's not one of the more popular songs off the record. So definitely go check it out. A Line in the Sand. Number 9. This one might shock a lot of people because it's different from everything else on the list, but I'm gonna go with We Are Never Getting Back Together by Taylor Swift. It's just one of those earworms that just will not get out. And I don't know, there's something so catchy and so like, something about it. The first time I heard it, I was like, I love this. I don't really like almost anything else by her, maybe one or two other songs, but that's it. I love this song, and I honestly almost forgot about it. And then once I really thought in depth about what I wanted to put on the list, that this could not escape the list for me. Just because of me not liking this type of music for the most part, and this catching my eye so much. I just always thought it was so good. And it's so silly, the video's great. It's just one of those stupid pop songs that you cannot get out of your head, and I don't think it will ever leave my head. Wow. What a good one. Good job, T Swift. You got me this time. Number 8, one of my favorite bands, Sevendusts, with the song Splinter off the album Cold Day Memory from 2010. This album actually marked the return of their guitarist, Clint Lowry. He left for maybe 4 or 5 years. He did a bunch of other stuff. He toured with some bands, and he also he played in a band called Dark New Day with his brother, and then he returned a couple of years, maybe a year or two before this album, and this was the first album to actually have him on it again. And it's so heavy, and it's like I said with the Linkin Park song, this song is exactly what Sevendust does best. It's just so heavy and visceral, and it's just, I love it. So good. Such a good song. And off a great album too, but great song. Definitely up there for me. Number 7, we have the song Blacklist by Danger Kids. This is just, these guys are so cool. What a great band. And this is actually the title track on the album, Blacklist, also obviously by Danger Kids. And the whole album's great, but this is just really the standout song for me. And if you haven't heard the band, check them out, please. If you're a big fan of of old school Linkin Park, if you're a fan of like A Day to Remember or We Came as Romans or something like that, it's definitely for you. Really good stuff. It's a good mix of like the old school Linkin Park style and kind of like the metalcore style. So good stuff. I really definitely recommend it for people, fans of those styles. Number 6, we have a song called The World Is Dead by Call Me No One. And actually, this band is Clint Lowry from Sevendust, and the drummer Morgan Rose, also from Sevendust. It's just kind of like their side project, and it's really cool. It's different from what Sevendust is doing, but it still has that familiarity of, you know, the two members' writing styles. So it's just like a cool variation from that to me, and I really dug it. It's another one where if you haven't heard it, check it out. That band's great, and they only put out one record, but it is a killer record. Make note of that. You'll probably hear about it later. Number 5, and we're finally entering the top 5. Ooh, we have Bones Exposed by Of Mice and Men from the 2012 album Restoring Force. And this is one of those songs that I heard it and immediately fell in love with it. I always knew of the band and I liked them a little bit, but this song made me fall in love with that band. This is the first release with their new at the time vocalist Aaron Pauley. And in my opinion, Aaron Pauley just really fit in with the dynamic of the group and really brought them to the next level, for me at least. Their other vocalist, Shaylee, was really good as well, but for me, Aaron Pauley just fit in a little bit better and just really filled that role perfectly. So that's why I really enjoyed this song, this album, and I really enjoyed the band going forward. Number 4, we have Square Hammer by the band Ghost, off of their EP Popestar. This is my absolute favorite song by that band, and oh my god, just such a good song. It's so catchy. It's the first song I heard by them that actually hooked me into the band. I heard another song or two first, and I was like, I don't know if I can get into this. And I heard that, and I was like, all right. And I started listening to that one, and then I got more into their other stuff too. So this song really helped keep me interested in them and really hooked me. It's just different. I expected Ghost to be this heavy, sludgy metal band, and they're just not what I thought they would be, and I love what they are, and that's just because of this song. I'm listening to them. So great job, Ghost. Great song, and definitely one of the top songs of the decade in my opinion. Number 3, we have Nightmare off of Avenged Sevenfold's Nightmare, which came out in 2010. This album was a tribute to their passing of the drummer Jimmy the Rev Sullivan. What a tragedy that was. He died so young, and he was such a talent. He was so good at drums, and he was so good at writing, and he was a good singer. Everything, he was just so good at everything he did, and it was really a shame to lose him. It took the band a while after this record to recover, in my opinion at least. I thought the next album wasn't very good, but they've recovered now. But it took them a while after Jimmy. But this song is just one of their absolute best songs they've ever put out. What a tribute to that man. The whole album is great, but this song in particular really is perfect for that, in my opinion, Just a great tribute. Number 2, we have Doomed by Bring Me the Horizon off their album That's the Spirit. And this song's just got a really cool vibe to it. I just remember the first time hearing it, immediately I was hooked to it, And it's the first song on the album, so it just got the album off on the perfect foot. Just a great choice by Bring Me the Horizon to start that album off with that. And it's just it's kind of different. So that's what really, I think, I dug into, is I like things that are a little bit different. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty much on the same track with most of the music I listen to, but I don't know, I think the stuff that I really like stands out a little bit more from the rest of it, in my opinion. So that's why that one's so high up on the list for me. I just always loved it. As soon as I heard it, hooked. Great stuff. And number 1, we have, a shocker to nobody, Linkin Park with Waiting for the End from the album A Thousand Suns. Very polarizing when it came out, but man, this song was the first song that I heard on the album where I was like blown away. I'm not gonna lie, the album took me a few listens to really get into, but this song right off the bat, first time I heard it, I was like, this song's amazing, best song on the album, I love this, and my opinion has not changed. It is an incredible song. Mike and Chester mesh so well on this one, as they do on tons of stuff, but this is one of their best in my opinion. I think this is one of Linkin Park's best songs they have ever written. I don't know if a lot of people would agree with me, but I think a lot of the hardcore Linkin Park fans would agree with me. It's definitely some of their best work. And that is my top 10 songs of the decade. We're going to transition into the top 10 albums of the decade. The number 10 album of the decade, in my opinion, is by Linkin Park, One More Light. It is the last album Linkin Park ever recorded with Chester Bennington, and it has like an emotional, nostalgic feeling in that way where I'll never really get to hear his work again. So every song is special in my opinion, and I think they're all great. A lot of people were kind of put off by this album because it's so poppy, but I think Linkin Park does that really well. So not everything has to be Hybrid Theory in my opinion. I really enjoyed all the songs on this, and I can't not put this on the list as Chester's last effort. You know, it's so good throughout, and every song is really good. I don't care what anybody says, it's great, and it deserves a spot on this list. Number 9, we have Tracing Back Roots by We Came as Romans. I knew very little about this band, and I happened to see them on the band's Warped Tour 2013, and they were playing a lot of the songs off of this because this album was about to come out, and I really, really dug them. And I immediately pre-ordered this album, and I listened to it like crazy over the next few years. And it is their best work by far, and every song is great. Every single song hits hard and is just incredible. It's a shame what happened to Kyle Pavone last year, but too many musicians dying young, man. What can you do? And this album, I just will always rock in memory of Kyle Pavone. Such good stuff, and I think one of the best metalcore albums I've heard. Definitely. So good. Number 8, we have the album Post Traumatic by Mike Shinoda, which he put out last year. It is basically his response to the death of Chester Bennington, and it is an emotional, cathartic response. I feel like, as a fan, it really helped me process the loss of Chester, and it really helped me get into the mind of Mike and see how he was feeling. And I just feel like I needed it. It was so good. Every song, like I said, I'm going to say with everything here, every song is so good. Such a perfect album. I wish all these albums could be number 1, but they can't. This one, I would say there was a good 2 or 3 months where all I listened to was this album pretty much, and it really helped me process Chester's passing. So I'll never forget that, and I will never not appreciate this album for the help and the catharsis it gave me. Thank you, Mike Shinoda. I love you. Number 7, we have Restoring Force by Of Mice and Men. I said earlier that this was the first album with Aaron Pauley, and it really brought the group into like the perfect fold of where they needed to be, in my opinion. Their first 2 albums were good, but this put them on a whole new level, and I just loved their sound going forward. It was so cool. It had like a new metal-y kind of vibe, you could tell they were like influenced by like Linkin Park and Korn and bands like that. It was just a cool feel. Oh my god, I loved it. This whole album is incredible. Every song is great. Just perfect. Oh my god, I wish that every band would put out an album like this. I mean, obviously, I would probably get really sick of it, but so good. Such a good... I'm just glad I got to see them while they were promoting this album, pretty much. They played such a good set. Great stuff. It's a shame that they're not really what they used to be anymore. But it's okay. You know, Austin left for medical reasons, and Aaron's still in the band, and it's still all the same guys except Austin, but it's not the same. I mean, they're still good, but this was just their peak, in my opinion. So good. Number 6, we have Kill the Flaw by Sevendusts. This album came out in 2015, and this is just like, this whole album is everything they do best, all the right stuff, just perfect writing. It is probably like their best album as a whole since like the mid to early 2000s, in my opinion. They put out a lot of good stuff, but this album was just great, front to back. They actually got their first Grammy nomination with the song Thank You, which, well deserved. They've been around so long, and they've never really gotten the recognition they deserve, in my opinion, and this album finally kind of brought it to them. So, great stuff. I'm appreciative that they're finally getting what they deserve, because they are incredible, and they're such humble, cool guys. I've met them on a couple occasions, and they're always just the nicest, coolest guys. So, I love you, Sevendusts. Keep it up, and keep doing what you do, because nobody does it better. Number 5, we have Collapse by the band Danger Kids, which came out in about 2013, and these guys, oh, I just love these guys. They are really, really nice people, and their music is so great. It's got like an old school Linkin Park vibe, and I just love that. But it's not like they're trying to copy them. It's just, you can tell they were influenced by them, which is cool. I know all these people personally. I just want to give a shout out to Jake, to Katie, to Tyler, to Andy, to Alex. You guys are awesome. Keep it up. I can't wait to see what you guys do next. I love this album. I love Blacklist. I love everything you guys have put out, and I just want to say, looking forward to the future. So, can't wait. If you haven't heard it, go listen to this. Collapse. Every song is great. Go listen to Blacklist. Go find them on Spotify. Anywhere. They're so good. Trust me. Trust me. Number 4, we have the album Last Parade by Call Me No One. As I said before, a side project of Clint Lowry and Morgan Rose of Sevendust. And, oh my god, the writing here is phenomenal. Just, the vocals are great. Clint Lowry is at his absolute best. I don't think any other frontman can pull off what he pulled off here, and I just am in love with it. I remember I didn't listen to it right away when it came out, but when I finally got it, I just was stunned. It's so good, so different from Sevendust, but familiar at the same time, which I thought was really cool, because I think that's kind of hard to pull off on a side project. A lot of the time it just sounds like you're kind of doing the same thing, but a little bit lesser. And this is not that. This was great. I wish they would put out more albums, but if this is the only thing that they ever put out, I am satisfied, because this is a nearly perfect record in my opinion. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. If you have not heard this, check it out. It is really, really good. And different. It's very different. It's like it's got a good variety of stuff on there. It's not just like metal or hard rock. It's got a variety. So definitely check that out. Number 3, we have The Stage by Avenged Sevenfold. And it took them a while to recover after the Rev's passing, in my opinion. And while I don't think they'll ever have a drummer that will have the same impact that the Rev had, on their music and writing and everything. This album was definitely a return to form, in my opinion. It's so good. It's very progressive, and it's like a concept album about space and artificial intelligence and just basically the dangers of technology, which is a subject I've always been kind of fascinated with. So it really caught my attention, and I just love every song, and I just love the album as a whole. It's one of the only albums where I will put on the entire album and listen to it front to back, even though it's like almost an hour and a half. I can do that with this album just because it flows together so perfectly, and it's just a cool album. I don't know, I just love it. A lot of people hate on it because it's not City of Evil and Waking of Fallen, but I don't care. It's so good. Check it out. Number 2, and I'm a little shocked that this isn't number 1, but it is 1,000 Suns by Linkin Park. And again, it's a concept album about nuclear war and basically the dangers of nuclear technology and stuff. And this album was extremely polarizing upon release. A lot of people were shocked at the change Linkin Park made. This album is very electronic as opposed to the rock-based albums they had in the past. But I just think they did such a great job. This is another album where I will listen to it front to back because it flows so perfectly together and tells a pretty cohesive story that it's just one of those albums where you can't appreciate it fully unless you listen to it front to back. And this is, I think, their most creative work, and it's definitely one of their best albums in my opinion. I think it's up there with Meteora and Hybrid Theory. Hybrid Theory will always be my favorite because of nostalgia and because that's what I grew up on, but I think this album is on par with that. So I don't care what you say. You probably don't agree with me because most people are like, I hate everything Linkin Park did after A Minutes to Midnight, but they did a lot of great stuff after. They've done a lot of great stuff in their career, and this is one of their best. Definitely one of their best in my opinion. And number 1, we have That's the Spirit by Bring Me the Horizon. One of my favorite albums of all time. Definitely a top 10 favorite album of all time for me. And my favorite song. My favorite album of the decade, for sure. Every song is a banger. It's just perfect. I love everything about this album. It's got a good variety of heavy stuff and softer stuff, and it's just, I don't think Bring Me the Horizon will ever top this album. It's just so perfect. A lot of people like Sempiternal better, but I don't agree. I like Sempiternal, but I think Sempiternal was trying a little too much to be like something else. I think this album was them really just coming into their own and being what they want to be. And everything they've done since the early 2010s has been really good, pretty much. Sempiternal, That's the Spirit, Ammo, great stuff. This just is a perfect sound for them, in my opinion, and I hope they continue to put out more stuff like this. I mean, I don't want them to put out the exact same album. No artist wants to do that, but this is just a perfect blend, in my opinion. It's everything that they do perfectly all at once. So that's why it's number 1 for me. And that's why I love it so much. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a happy new year, and I hope 2020 treats everyone really well. Give me a subscribe, give me some likes, give me some comments, or don't. But if you enjoy it, please go ahead and give me some stuff, you know? Why not? Happy New Year, guys. Thanks for watching.